companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, you'll have DSA rounds as well as project discussion rounds where you have to tell what all projects you did and what all tech stack you used. So we
Yes,
wanted some
yes,
information on that. Like,
yes.
is our resume good for all those interviews?
Right, right. Perfect. Yeah, I saw your resumes. They are good. Uh, I would suggest you that focus more on the coding round, on the lead code only. Don't worry about the competitive programming, because if you apply from off campus, you'll not have competitive programming, right? So don't worry about competitive programming at the moment. Worry
Okay.
about the lead code part, how you should master solving data structures problem, right?
Yes.
And if you get the fundamentals right, automatically you'll do well in competitive programming,
Yeah.
because competitive program is nothing, it's just the same data structures program little bit slight complicated, and you may have more time, 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
But if you are good in data structures based programming, this is enough for preparing for competitive programming. But what's very important that you should solve 350 questions in lead code. And for
Okay.
every topic, whenever there is a question asked, you should be able to come up with the code, working code, fully correct working code with the best time complexity within 30 minutes. So track the time whenever you are attempting any question. Keep yourself distraction free. Your WhatsApp and all phone calls you should not attend in that time, because if you are solving a problem and you get distraction, then you will not be able to track your time effectively. So be in a very quiet place and distraction free place, and solve 4 or 5 problems every day. So it this way, if you are solving say 4 problems or 5 problems every day, in a month you will be solving 150 problems.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to do or be ready by 2.5 months, right? Because
Yes.
150 problems, then 300 problems, and maybe you will do some revisions as well, because some topics you have to revise to be stay on touch, right? To stay on touch. So you'll need 2.5 months of preparation for data structures only. And once you solve these 350 questions, and you should also note down what topics each of these questions are, how much time minutes you are taking to solve each of these problems, and how many attempts you required to submit the exact solution, right?
Yeah.
You maintain it. This will also help you in revising these topics, revising the program problem solving, right? Put a link to the question, so that when you see that okay, some of the questions you struggled, that you can revise number of times, and then you will become automatically fluent in that question as well, problem solving for that particular type of questions also. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is the approach which I recommend to everyone, and this has helped many people to crack Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft easily. So if you do that, nothing more is required, because it's enough to crack, you know, at fresher level, all these companies, because they look for best programmers with excellent data structures and algorithm skills. You should be in top 2% of
Yes.
uh, of the skill available in the market, right? And how good you are in project or in other places, if you don't do well in coding round, you'll get rejected, because coding round is higher or no higher round. Other rounds are they will just check your fitment, what project they should fit you, what kind of
Okay.
yeah, probably some, if they have some grades bands, they'll put you in the salary bands, etc. But mostly the decisions taken by the coding round. Other rounds are, they are looking for red flags, right?
Okay.
If you say that okay, I don't want to work after 6 o'clock, or I don't want to work with US people, then only you'll get rejected. Otherwise, if you're good in coding round, until unless you don't do Blender or you don't say something like, okay, I don't want to work in any other language than Java, or these are some don'ts. No, don't tell. You may have likings and all, but yes, you don't say that, okay. No, if you say something like all JavaScript programmers are stupid and some such statements people make, which shows
Yeah.
it's a bad attitude, right? So that you have to avoid. Otherwise, you will get selected most of the time if you are done well in the coding round, right?
Yes, sir.
So yes, this is what you prepare, and project and all
Sure.
also is required. But if you are already doing good internship, then you should focus on talking about the internship,
Okay.
right? Because that's
Yeah.
more professional experience rather than doing some project work. So do good work in the internship, and get good feedback from there, good remarks. Be thorough. It will reflect when you will be talking in the interview to the panel, and then do we really well on the coding round, then you will definitely get selected, right? And your resume is good, need not have to worry too much about, because you should mention your skill sets very clearly, which you have done already, and your background education, and you may write about all your internship as well, and what exactly project, so that you will update once your internship is complete. So for writing about internship, I'll give you few advice and tips.
Yeah.
First thing is, don't write like, tasks which you have performed, right?
Okay.
Like if people write that, okay, worked on requirement gathering, that does not make any sense for me, because what you really worked on, what requirement gathering, you have to be more specific. So you could write successfully completed requirement gathering for so and so module. So for example, Flipkart health module. Then you have to write about what code you have written, right? So you can deliver the feature for maybe authentication or whatever, payment solution. Also, you said you write about what was the outcome, that the project was appreciated, uh, got rating 4.5 plus rating for from the customers, or you may say got appreciation from product manager. So these are, you have to highlight your achievements as well. So you have to be very specific, so that whoever reads your experience, what you have done in internship, he don't get any confusions or any queries, cross questions about what you have done. It should
Yes,
be
sir.
very specific. And then you should also talk about your achievements, right? Whether you were able to, how you measured the success, because great people or good developers, they don't just forget things after completing the project, they follow up about their project, right? How is being received by the customers. They also take feedback and keep improvising on what they have done. So that should be apparent from your description. So if you write that, okay, received good feedback from customers, then the person who is reading, the hiring manager, he'll get the impression that you were conscious about how it was getting received by the customers,
Yes, sir.
and you are someone who looks for feedback of the work which you have done. You just don't throw the work and say, yeah, I'm done, now you take care, right?
Yeah.
That's not the right way. Good programmers, good software professionals, they take feedback and keep improvising their code forever, right? That also shows accountability, responsible behavior. And this is difference between normal programmer and good programmer,
Yes.
right? So that's the only things I would tell. And one important thing is, what are the programming languages you are familiar with?
For the coding part, we all do C++.
Okay, C++. Stick to C++.
Yeah.
Because don't be under confusion. So in when you are trying lead code, solve all the problems using C++.
Yeah.
Right? Perfect. Also, I am helping many other software professionals also to crack all the FANG companies. So I have a WhatsApp group also where we do interactive sessions.
Okay,
So,
sir.
so yes, I will add you to the group so that you can get into system design discussions. This will be
Sure, sure.
various, so that will be useful for you also. So you can participate in that and also share it to your friends or classmates who will be interested in learning system design concepts, right?
Yes, sir, sure.
Sir, how much of system design will be asked in interviews for freshers like us?
Little, it will be little. So when you will have the project round, they may ask about fundamental questions related to your project, right? But people who do not have good amount of project experience, for them they may ask some questions. For example, you should be aware of few important things, like how do you design a tiny URL, and you should be aware of what is proxy server, what is firewall, what is various components, no, message queue, application server, web server, various caching strategies, how domain names work. So basics of networking, some basics of operating systems, basics of database management system. You may be asked to design a database. So the questions will be like that. It will be simple for you if you have done thorough work and if you have good understanding of database management system and non-networking operating system, distributed computing, little bit about how inter-process communication works, REST APIs. So these fundamentals you should have. You don't need to be very thorough with this, but you need fundamental understanding of these concepts, right? So if someone has there are some system design courses as well online, but yes, system design is something which keeps changing very frequently, because now what is trending in system design, maybe after 6 months there will be new things which might have come, right? Because cloud technologies, some of the fundamentals do change. uh, for example, React is there right now. Maybe a few years back it was not there. So the concepts have evolved. So that's why it's not possible to refer to one source. You have to do a lot of research and keep yourself upgraded always, right? So that's why best way to study system design is with group discussion. So that's why I have this WhatsApp group where we discuss about various problems, various concepts as well, because also it's very difficult to understand whether this solution is right or wrong, right? You may refer some internet resource, from one perspective it may be right, from other perspective it may be wrong also, right? And you cannot make it out that this is 100% right, this is not right. And also if you are able to convince the interviewer that this is the decision which you have made and is correct, then it's right. If you have given a right solution but you are not able to convince the interviewer that this is the right solution, then this will be considered wrong solution, right? Because finally the goal for you is you have to convince the interviewer. So your decisions which you make should be backed by some concept or data, right? Otherwise you don't discuss that thing. So, but yes, you don't have to worry too much on that. Just ensure you are having good understanding of fundamentals, and when given any design questions, you should be able to break it into smaller pieces, and you should be able to share some good concepts. No, not 100% correct, but you should not be 100% wrong.
Yeah.
But focus more on low level design. Low level design means design patterns, handling concurrency, concepts of transactions, locking, right? These
Yes.
concepts you should be aware of. You should be aware of classical problems, like in Microsoft they generally ask, tell me about dining philosopher problem. How do you solve it? Right? Can you write some simple snippet? That will not be a working solution, but you will be writing a pseudo code, or you will share the approach how you can deal with the dining philosopher problem or any other classical problem, right? Which could be around handling race conditions, or preventing starvation of threads, and ensuring your application do not have deadlocks. So these concepts are important for you. So design patterns are important, fundamentals of operating systems are important, networking is important. You should know about what is NoSQL database and SQL
Yeah.
database, when to use what, right? What are various kinds of NoSQL databases, and most important, various principles like solid principles, what is dry principles.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, these good concepts about reusability, object oriented design, these are important. So this is all the syllabus about how to crack other rounds. But as I said, if you crack coding round, you just have to ensure you are not doing very bad in other rounds. If you do average, uh, you will still be offered the position. Correct? Maybe
okay.
they may not offer you the premium teams if you don't do well, but you will still get an offer. But yes, if you do better in, or do good in all the rounds, then you will get selected, and you will also be given more very strategic projects also, right? So other rounds are, you should take it as low pressure rounds, which are mainly to check for red flags like attitude issues or any other problems you have, uh, or they will check your fitment with current team. So are you suitable for this team or that team? Are you suitable for front end development or back end development? Based on your knowledge and discussion, they will decide. So if you are really very keen on front end development, and during the system design round or project round you are talking more about front end design, then you will be offered that position. Or if you are talking more about the back end, you will be offered that position. So that will be the criteria. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, cool.
Have you received my resume?
Okay, let me check.
Otherwise, I will paste it here.
I'll send it.
Yeah, I'm just checking in a minute. You have WhatsApp? You have done a WhatsApp with me? Okay, yeah, I got it. So Karthik, I see. I'm going through.
Sir, all three of us are in one WhatsApp group. So should I add you to that group, sir?
Yes, I will do that. You wouldn't be able to do which group?